Kabisa.
Hello and what's up everybody, this is Elijah Gishore. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, tap that subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Alright, like I say, this is the greatest YouTuber in the Republic of Kenya, and the E in my name stands for exactly what you need. For the third day in a row, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, drove himself in a little electric yellow vehicle to demonstrate his unwavering support and commitment to navigating or solving the climate change menace in Kenya and in Africa at large. So the president was arriving for the Africa Climate Summit that happened here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Nairobi, Kenya, and that's where he was driving himself all the way from Statehouse to KICC. Now, there are so many criticism online regarding the other heads of state who attended the summit, because they were arriving in fuel guzzlers. They were arriving in their V8s, their Toyota Land Cruisers, in their Prados, in their fuel guzzlers, and it was kind of an oxymoron, or what we call. It was actually something that was astonishing to see them actually talk about one thing and do the other, to see them preach water and take wine, because these guzzlers, they are consuming a lot of fuel, they're emitting a lot of carbon into the atmosphere, and here you are with the summit telling us how we should reduce emissions by 2050, how we should cut off the carbon we emit into the atmosphere. If you are telling us to do so, why aren't you implementing measures such as the use of electric vehicles, which actually use electricity? And electricity, we know, so as long as it's not produced using diesel of fossil fuels. It's clean source of energy. Particularly in Kenya, we use the hydroelectric power, the solar energy, the wind energy, which are all renewable sources of energy and very, very clean energy sources that actually promote mitigation measures against climate change. So that was what we have witnessed, and it is something that is a very nice sight to behold for Kenyans who have seen the president do the rights, and Kenyans really feel that it was a good gesture towards promoting climate change. But now the problem is, how long is this going to last? You know, the summit is over. The Africa Climate Summit 2023 is over, and now what we want to see is the action taken after the summit, because we have had so many summits. We have had, actually I was watching the news and they were saying there was a debt that the African countries were promised, I don't know how many billions, 14 years ago, you know. And this is it. We have conferences, we have big meetings, we have the Nairobi Declaration, the whichever place declaration, but at the end of the day, we just end at being declarations. We just end at that, and you find out past that there is zero to no action. Like I'm not sure the president will actually use the small vehicle ever again. It was just a show of the climate change. It was just to support the climate change, which is nice, but then we would have loved something more. We would have loved something more concrete, you know. Get your entire motorcade into electric and sustain that. But now there's no sustainability. You're just doing it for the summit, and then after the summit, it's gone. It's gone and gone for good. So action, action, action. If you're talking about carbon credits, let us see communities benefiting from it. If you're talking about afforestation, reforestation, let us see laws curbing illegal logging, you know. Let us see people plant. Let us have accountability. You know, we just have a blanket goal. We're going to plant, say, 1 billion trees by 20 something. But how many trees are we planting every single day? Why can the government, you know, this goes to CS, so Pan 2 year. Why can't the government take a daily record of trees planted? You know, trees planted every county, every location. How many have been planted today? Now you're just waiting, and then you start saying, oh, we just give the figures, the analysis some other time. Start the data collection today. Put in place measures. Let the government even purchase seedlings and give them for free to farmers, you know. Yeah, and let this start growing, you know. We have a lot of idle land, especially in the northeastern part of Kenya. Why can't the government start a forest there? You know, just a forest there, just grow trees, you know, even the ones that are drought resilient, you know. There are trees which can withstand harsh conditions in the north. And these are some of the measures that we can take to actually ensure that we don't go back to talking and doing nothing at all in regards to actions. Because at the end of the day, it's the actions that are going to help us navigate the climate change menace, you know. We want to see the change, you know. We want to see electric planes, now we have electric trains already, you know, like the SGR. It's a diesel powered engine, you know, and it's possible to convert, it's possible to change that locomotive into an electric train. Eric Tanzania did it, even though it's expensive. But at the end of the day, it's our environment that we are protecting. It's our environment that we are safeguarding for the future of this country. Failure to which, if we don't do that, then the tourism will go down and all the other negative effects. So it's very possible. Let us measure the carbon sink. Let us do all these things to ensure that we become the solution at hand, or we become the change we want to see in the world. President Ruto also talked about carbon tax, and he was saying that these countries will emit so much. The G20s, the G7s of this world, they should pay a tax for emissions, because at the end of the day, it is Africans that bear the brunt of global warming or climate change. You see, it's not a problem we create for ourselves. It's a problem created by companies abroad and things like that, industries, But nature is unforgiving, and that consequences still come here to us. At the end of the day, we bear the brunt. We get droughts, diseases, all those things. We borrow money to buy food. We borrow money to fight pests and diseases. We borrow money to mitigate measures of climate change. At the end of the day, the West don't care. They will come and take their money. Even the East, if it's a debt, it's a debt. You will be forced to pay that debt. But you have been coerced. You have been forced to take that debt due to the prevailing conditions, and it's not because it's not because you wanted to, but it's because you are forced to. The circumstances, the conditions necessitated you to borrow that money. So the carbon tax, they tax the countries according to their carbon emissions, and then this money will be channeled towards mitigation of climate change to the country suffering. So somebody was arguing, what is the real essence of carbon? What do you call it? The carbon footprint, where you're able to get compensation for the carbon you remove from the atmosphere. And they were saying that if you compensate people for that, you're encouraging people to bring this carbon. Even when you pay carbon tax, there are countries that are very wealthy. You can see from this climate summit the amount of money that has been collected, billions of dollars. There are countries that are very, very wealthy. And so if you give them the leeway to pollute and then pay, then they use it, even though it's a nice policy. They use a pay and polluter pay principle. But again, at the end of the day, I believe it's better. It's actually far much better to put in place measures that make it difficult, actually, even for the carbon to actually be emitted. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. This has been your guy, Lejage Show. Adios, and see you in my next video.